Okay, as promised, I'm going to be working on my driver swing speed, see what I can get out of my trainer, and kind of give instructions. And I'll back up. Obviously, I've sat and tried to make my speed better, as anybody would, so I'm faster than I was once. I probably, through a variety of things, maybe a good drive is 260 for me, which is a nice drive, but at any rate, I'm hoping to get longer than that. But I already got longer, so I'm not expecting to get a ton longer. Anyway, I'm going to go through this as if I am starting out back from scratch, because that's going to be more valuable for anybody. So, first thing I'm going to do is work with my trainer, and I'm trying to get here is a feeling that this whole motion is driven basically by my body and not my arms against my body at all. So it's a heave it back, let it fall, and then as it's falling, drop with it a little bit, and then the feeling of throwing. So the two active moves are heave it, passive moves sort of, so you're not pulling down, letting it drop, and then you accelerate through. So you got two, that's sort of a lateral. You could break it down. Let's not do that. Just picture yourself throwing. Your body knows what to do. Your body's going to apply all these ground forces that people talk about, which are rotational, which really just means pushing back and pushing back this way. Lateral, which means pushing this way. And vertical, which means if you drop and go up, it sort of snaps the club, right? So, but all those things are part of natural movement pattern if you imagine yourself throwing a heavy object. So the one variation I think that in myself I kind of go back and forth between is, do I emphasize the lateral move or the rotational move more? So you will experiment with that. And there are different schools of thought about which one, but in my experience, the lateral gets me hitting straighter shots if I kind of think more of this move and not as much rotation. But regardless, your body will sort that out. So let's go back to this. So we'll start from a standstill. Your arms again should be in this position. This is a pretty good replication of a grip, so we're not going to have to worry about that too much. We're not going to worry about where the ball goes at first either. So this is to get, first thing we're going to do is get a good motor pattern, and then be very conscientious as you start to speed it up that you don't start using a different motor pattern. So that's what messes up your swing. So you got to get a proper motor pattern, which is basically just heave it up, go to the ground, throw, and then you get your club. And as you're training this early, do a lot more trainer, some practice swings, minimal amount of ball striking. And your ball striking goal is going to be, did I replicate that feeling to my practice swing to my ball? That's your real goal at first. So if you're not doing that, you're not going to get anywhere ultimately. You have to relearn a different idea of how to apply basically speed to a golf club if you're changing your motor pattern from something else. So now I've done my swing. I'm going to replicate my motor pattern, heat it up, wait for it, feeling of a throwing motion. I'm going to do them really, I think early on, as slow as you can do this, the better you're going to get a feeling for it, and then you're going to learn how to accelerate at that last moment. So I'll try to do one nice and slow. Not bad, not bad. See what that did. And also be aware that you're trying to, it's not that small. It's a decent, pretty decent drive. I'd be happy with that. So, nice, lots of time. Throwing motion, sort of a sidearm throwing motion, but not applying upper body force, just really throwing your arms and your club through. That's 1 unit, so we'll do a couple more. Very relaxed, maybe like 30% effort for that. And also attend to where they're going. So that's a good one, 240. Plenty good. I think most people I think most of my audience is my age. I think we all realize we'd be pretty happy with 240, right? It's not bad. So I'll say the big advantage to trying to gain speed this way, other than the speed sticks and all those other kinds of things, is this is lower energy, more dependent on gravity, technique, and timing. And once you get this, it doesn't just drop away. You don't have to, oh, I didn't train with my speed sticks for, a month, and now my speed went back down. This is more of a permanent motor pattern fix that gets you a swing that is much easier for an old person to produce speed if you're not dependent on a lot of fast twitch and physical strength. So we're going to do it again. One more swing, and then if you're practicing, watch how slow this is. I'm really just learning how to use gravity. So toss it back, go to the ground, throw it through. Nice, easy swing. A little right, so I probably will need to attend to, that's a bigger one. So I'm going to have to attend to how I'm setting up, but when you're focusing at first, make a little adjustment. Okay, hit to the right, whatever it takes, but don't, again, this is the big point here. Do not add any other forces to try to fix either path or some idea you have of power. So it's a very passive upper body. 2 moves, heave it back. 3 moves maybe, heave it back. Let it drop, feel like it's dropped. As it's dropping, you're dropping. And then rotate through. And the trainer will give you that exact feeling. So there was one where I added just a little bit, so I tried to get myself more square. And then I added just a little bit more at the last second, just a little harder with that. So this number doesn't mean anything on my simulator because it's just estimating. And so it does its own formula. This is a real number, 136. So if you have a simulator or something to look at, so you can see I'm getting a lot. Let's say this was 93, which it could be. I'm getting a lot out of 93 miles per hour. The reason for that is this number here is 17, so my launch is very high. So that's the higher you launch, the lower it spins up to a certain point. There's diminishing returns, but if you can launch it around 16 and spin it around 2,000-ish, that's going to give you optimal distance given the same amount of ball speed. So part of the way I'm getting distance with being, not lightning fast is that I've figured out how to hit a little bit up on the ball and you need to start catching it in the upper part of the club with the face pretty square so you're not hitting a glancing blow. So a straight ball is the most energy going into the ball, so get something near straight and then near the top of the face somewhere. So that's day one, but just to go back to the start, I'll say get this feeling again, heave it back. Really pay attention when you go to the club, because this is the one you'll skip. So even maybe start from a dead stop, heave it back. Feel how your whole body has to get involved in that. It's not your arms lifting it back. It's your whole body heaving it back over the ground. And the feeling you would get of throwing it as far as you can. Get that feeling. Replicate that feeling with your club and be very critical of actually doing that. So heave it back. Everything goes through. Nice and easy. As slow as you can at first is better, because then you'll give it enough time to get all those proper sequences, and then once you have them, you can start ramping up that last move, but you need to get all the parts right first. So heave it back, rotate through. Pretty easy swing there, but very nice. It felt good, good contact. That's good distance for me. They're about 250 without a ton of effort. So that's it. And I'll start working on developing more speed, but remember, as you work on this, it's more important to have a clean motion with proper energy. Give your transition plenty of time, and what you're going to feel when you give it more time is that everything finally winds. So a lot of people get kind of about there, and they start going and they throw away a bunch because they haven't let their body completely wind up. So you'll feel that last sort of crank in your body, which will be the shoulders then tightening up against the chest. And when that happens, then that's where you go.